Hey y'all, it's Magnolia Money, and this is my all states predictions list for the day of August 14th. These are good for all draws through all states for the entire day. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, as well as hit the thumbs up, you guys. I appreciate that support so much. And remember that you may need to use mirrors as needed based upon your state's hot and cold numbers, which is basically letting you know which numbers are currently playing and which ones are due that have not been played in a while. Now, as far as your mirrors chart, I went ahead and added that to this video as well, and you guys can see that these numbers would play as each other. And if you're not sure how to play a mirror, then feel free to check out my other videos for that information. Now, these are also not intended to be played as an exact order because each state does has its own pattern. All right, so those numbers here are going to be your list of the all states predictions. Now, down here I have a rundown that is set up, and it is good for all states. And you guys have been giving me feedback and letting me know kind of which ones are hitting. I may end up changing this down to just 2 different rundowns instead of 3 per each video. Sometimes it's going to be based upon just the fact of time, and sometimes it's going to be based on if I'm just not able to pull that third one based on the way that I do gather the information. Now, with that being said, you guys, you'll see that the numbers in these lists, the 2s and the 7s are highlighted. Now, just to kind of give you all a little bit of information, because I've been asked not only on YouTube, but on my Facebook groups, how do you play these short rundowns? Okay, so what I do is I highlight what the date sum is. Now, if you're not sure what the date sum is, I also have that in videos as well. But what we have here, the date sum for today would be a 2, and the mirror of a 2 is a 7. So what I do that I find is the best way for me is to go ahead and highlight all of those inside of the rundowns. Now, with that being said, my next step is to determine what numbers are due in my state, which ones are set to hit, that haven't hit in a while. And what I do is I determine one of 2 ways. Either I'm going to use the date sum or its mirror, and I'm going to play 2 other digits that either come off of it, that either touch, like this. I would pick like something like this way. I would go this way. I mean, either way, I would find a way that it would include the date sum, right? Okay, so the date sum would be one of my 2 digits, or one of my 3 digits, excuse me. All right, so then I would only need 2 digits left. So then I would find the next 2 that would connect to it, like 761, or I could pick something like 734, or I could pick 784, or I could pick 737, something like that, or just mirror it up and say 232 or 232, because that right there, again, mirrors, they play as each other. So that's just one example. Now, if I decide that I do not want to play the date sum, and I don't want to play a 2 or a 7 because it's just not something that I see falling using my other workouts, what I do is I pick a number that is going to touch those areas, all right, that is going to touch that date sum, because your next digit will touch off of the highlighted number. All right, now a lot of the times when they have it spread out like this, I usually go for one that's around the middle because it's usually going to be the one that hits. Sometimes they do only pull it from just the one at the top. But either way, I look at all of them collectively and then make my decision and compare it to the other rundowns like the 927, as well as my large grid and other things that I use, which I have listed on my site. And that website is magnoliamoney.net, and you can click Cash 3. It'll take you there to all the information that is based upon strictly just Mississippi, but you might find that some of those methods and videos that are listed there might be helpful for you. So anyway, back to the point here with using these particular grids or rundowns. What you'll do is if you decide that you do not want to play your date sum, is you're going to know that your next draw number is going to at least touch that date sum. So I might pick something like, say, a 538, or I might pick 531. Even though it's not using this, it is touching it. And it doesn't mean that all the digits have to touch it. It just means that one of them needs to touch it. So it could be 093. It could be 016. If you come over here, you could look and see, if you don't use your date sum, you could pick a number that touches off of it. Could be 916 right here. It could be these numbers. It could go in that form. As long as one of the digits is touching one of the highlighted areas, that's how you would do it. So it's one of 2 ways. Either you're going to use your date sum and then pick 2 other digits that come off of it, or you're not going to use the date sum and you're going to pick the digits that have at least one of them touching the date sum. So hopefully that clarifies a little bit of information there in regards to these workouts. And we're going to go back here and look at the all states predictions list. Again, you guys make sure that you do learn what the mirrors are, because that is going to help you out. Knowing what numbers are due in your state, knowing what numbers have recently been playing. Like say for instance with Mississippi, they dropped 9 for several days in a row. So guess what? We know that the 9s are playing. What do? They mirror it over to a 4 the following night after playing it several days in a row as a 9. So things like that, or just patterns and trends that you'll notice inside your state, that might give you an advantage point. So good luck to you guys. I hope you catch a win for August 14th. Let me know, and I will see y'all soon. Later, y'all.